I don't think that Neil Magny gets enough appreciation from the MMA community. He is one of the true BMFs. If you want to talk about BMF, the anyone, anywhere, anytime, constantly taking on the toughest of opponents in the division, I think that Neil Magny, and while he does have some lackluster performances, especially now that he's obviously past his prime, I really do think this man needs to be appreciated. I want to take a look at his record today just to show that a little bit in case anybody has maybe overlooked him at all. We're going to get into that in just a second. Before we do, though, I do want to say hello, everybody. Welcome back to another video. If you're new here, my name is Kyle. I'm your guy with 20 YouTube channels. Guys, I want to bring you over to Tapology here and talk about Neil Magny's record. The reason that I'm talking about Neil Magny today is because, and excuse me, I usually like having my camera up here. Never ready for these videos. Never ready for them. But anyways, guys, so the reason that I wanted to talk about this is because he is obviously taking on Carlos Prates. And my first initial thought was like, dude, Magny is such a dog. I cannot believe he's taking on Carlos Prates after the performance that he just had. Well, I can believe it completely, but you understand what I'm getting at, okay? Let's scroll all the way back through Neil Magny's record, okay? Since he joined a UFC, which was forever ago, by the way. Sorry about my phone, which was forever ago. He was taking on dogs right out the gate. He's been so active, right? He's been so active. Of course, like, you're going all the way back to 2013. Of course, it was getting his feet wet within the UFC, but guys like Tim Means was an animal back in the day. Guys like Damian Maia, Alex Garcia, Rodrigo de Lima, Eric Silva, Kelvin Gastelum, and that's also when Kelvin Gastelum, dude, I was so mad because I had to watch this fight. I was working at McDonald's when this fight happened back in the day, and I kept making all the sandwiches, running to the lobby with the TV in there, watching whatever part that I could with Kelvin Gastelum, and my heart was torn in that fight because I wanted both guys to win. So anyways, a little bit out of topic, okay? So Damian Maia, Eric Silva, and Kelvin Gastelum was crazy to go through all three, but then you continue on with Hector Lombard, who was also roided out and destroying people in the division. Lorenz Larkin, a very, very underrated fighter. Johnny Hendricks, one of the greatest welterweights of all time. Rafael dos Anjos, one of, if not also a BMF amazing champion. Carlos Condit, a dog. Craig White got a little bit of a break there. Ponzinibbio, back when Ponzinibbio was the man. Li Jing Liang, Anthony Rocco Martin got another little bit of a break there. But then Lawler, Chiesa, Neal, Silva, Griffin, Rachmanov, Rodriguez, Burns, Rowe, Gary, Malott, Morales, and now Prates. His only break throughout that was probably with Daniel Rodriguez. This is one of the greatest records, and when I say records, I mean just respectable talent level. Like, this dude has all of the experience, and if you want to talk about Neil Magny and like take a look at his record, he's so much better than his record shows. A lot of these fights, a lot of these losses that he's had were way past his prime. Like right now, Neil Magny is unfortunately not the fighter that he once was. He's getting older now, but he's also had some really close fights, man. I have always enjoyed this guy, watching this guy fight. I have always really, really respected the idea of him not sitting back like so many fighters do nowadays and go, nah, I'm not going to fight Carlos Prates. I want a top 5 guy. He doesn't do that. He's there for the love of the game, for the money too, obviously, but the dude has no problem taking on the toughest of the toughest fights. Just in his last fight, Michael Morales, he stopped the hype train of Mike Malott, took on Ian Gary. How many people are saying yes to these names? I think Neil Magny is one of the most underappreciated athletes that we have in the sport. We need to praise the attitude when people like Neil Magny's come along. And you want to talk about BMF? Neil Magny's up there, guys. Neil Magny is absolutely up there. And I know that BMF is not exactly like the best thing to be called. I know a lot of people look down on the BMF, but I'm talking about like the fighter attitude, if you guys understand kind of where I'm coming from in this sense. He has taken on such tough guys, and I wish more people in the UFC were like this, and I wanted to make this really quick video today, kind of just for whatever it's worth, thanking Neil Magny for all of the activity, all of the fun fights that he's put on. Lately, they've been lacking a little bit, but they were still very, very fun to watch in my opinion. I always cheer for the guy every single time that he fights. I'm a real big Carlos Prates enjoyer, man, but can't not help but respect and cheer for Neil Magny. I'm going to be cheering for him in that bout. Let me know what you think about Neil Magny, and if there are any other fighters that you like for this reason, I'd love to hear about it in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for being here, guys. Check out this video on screen. YouTube thinks you'll like it the best. Take care, everybody.